The following message is brought to you by the Wrestling Addict 100 World Order.
What are you doing?
What? I thought I'd just, try and change things up around here.
Look, man, just stick to the script, okay?
Fine. The following message is brought to you by Wrestling Addict 100, your new 3-time KWP champion.
God, when did it get so hard to find a decent voiceover guy? Well, what's going on, KWP Universe? Wrestling Addict 100 back with you here to talk about last night's WWE pay-per-view Extreme Rules 2016. Now, over on my main channel, I talked about how I wasn't really hyped up for this event. I wasn't really feeling it. But watching it last night, definitely a change of heart. They pulled out something fantastic, and that's what we're here to talk about right now. The pre-show match, I didn't watch. I only got to see the... Oh, sorry about that. I only got to see the highlights, because the time frame that I had between watching Extreme Rules and then doing the other stuff I had to do last night was very short. I had enough time to watch a 3-hour pay-per-view, and there was it. No kickoff show, no nothing. And it was no help that the network on my Apple TV, every time I would say play from beginning, it would play me, put me to where it was in the pay-per-view, as in live. Which is not what I wanted. I didn't want to be dumped in the middle of the Chris Jericho-Dean Ambrose match, or at the end of the Extreme Rules match. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to watch it from the beginning. Because the exact same thing happened at Dallas. The Oscar Bailey match got spoiled for me. It dumped me right in when Oscar won, which was not very good. So the pre-show match I didn't watch. I know Baron Corbin ended up picking up the win via a low blow, so that's 1-1 on pay-per-view for Dolph Ziggler and Baron Corbin. Hopefully, at Money in the Bank, they can get the bump up onto the main show, and hopefully they don't get another pre-show treatment, just to make it so if Baron Corbin does win, it's a main roster win, like a main card sort of win, you know? So we'll move on. The first match I want to talk about was the Uso versus the Club. I'm enjoying seeing the Usos getting the same sort of reaction as Roman Reigns. Some people cheer them, some people boo them just because they're alliance with Roman Reigns. To be honest, I haven't been an Usos fan since they lost the tag team titles. It's been that long. I believe it was the second time when they won them off Miz and Mizdow or something. I can't even remember. The second time they won them. That was the last time I was interested in the Usos. And that was a few years ago now. Good match though. A lot of stuff on the outside. That Luke Gallows is absolutely insane, especially towards the end where he's just yelling at Carl Anderson, "Get up, get up!" Goes and gets the ring bell. Uso goes for a splash, lands on the ring bell. Buddha Doom. 1, 2, 3. The Club pick up the win. Their first win on pay-per-view. Fantastic to see. Next match we're going to talk about, and this is where it was all up for grabs. The KWP Championship. RK Entertainment had picked Kalisto. Myself, I had picked Rusev. I believed there was going to be a new champion, and I have no idea what a Machka is, but Machka indeed, Rusev. Machka indeed. Absolutely physical match. Both men got a lot of great moves in. That spot at the end when Kalisto landed on the apron was insane. The fact that the ref was trying to back him up may have led me to believe that it was just going to be no contest, and then Rusev would have walked out with the title, similar to... In fact, I can't remember who it would be similar to. Sorry. But in the end, Rusev locked on the accolade and got the tap out before the ref called off the match. And for the first time ever, a 3-time KWP champion is crowned. I only needed the one, and the one I predicted was correct. The big gold is back where it belongs, on the shoulder of Wrestling Addict 100. But either way, we'll talk about the rest of the card because this is a review and results video. We're going to talk about the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental title match next. Match of the night by far. I would have loved to have seen this match just go on and on. You got that same sort of feel that you see when Sami Zayn took on Shinsuke Nakamura at Dallas. The whole fight forever sort of thing. Even with Miz. The Miz impressed me in this match. He really showed that even though he doesn't come from a similar sort of background as Cesaro, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, like that fight on the independent scene for longer than you've been in the WWE. He's proved he can still wrestle with those guys as well. And, the ending was a bit shifty. It looks like WWE do just want to do Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens without a belt so they can keep that rivalry going well past SummerSlam. And in the end, Cesaro ended up getting the finisher put on him, the Helluva Kick, and The Miz ended up picking up the win. Next match was the New Day versus the Vaudevillains. I'm not doing these in particular order. Interesting to see Xavier Woods be in there rather than Kofi Kingston. I suppose they just wanted to switch it up. And I suppose that's a good thing with the New Day. They've got this revolving door, so least to least injuries, and which is a great thing because, the New Day are the most electrifying tag team in a long, long time. And now that they've started mentioning, well, it's not the first time they've started mentioning it, now that they're really starting to mention how long they've had the belts for, you've got to think they'd be in contention to break Paul London and Brian Kendrick's streak of 300 plus days. They're already at 270 something, I believe. They're well on their way, and I believe they will hold them past SummerSlam, hold it for a full year, because there's just no real other tag team to go in there, bar Enzo and Cass. And I feel like Enzo and Cass's time will come by the end of the year. We could see it at TLC, we could see it at Night of Champions, but I feel like the New Day will do it for the entire year. Fantastic to see Xavier Woods in there. The Vaudevillains definitely put up a good fight. I'm sure they will have got a few new fans from that fight. However, in the end, what can I say? The New Day picking up the win, albeit with a little bit of distraction from Mr. Kofi Kingston, but it is what it is. Now, on to the worst match of the evening, or tied worst match. Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in this Asylum match. Something about this match just felt sloppy, it felt slow, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably Dean Ambrose's worst match. I've never seen Dean Ambrose compete like how he did last night. Normally in a Dean Ambrose match, I'm quite impressed, even when he faced off against Brock and it just pretty much became Suplex City at WrestleMania in a match that made absolutely no sense. There was just something about last night's match, it just didn't feel right up until the end. The minute those thumbtacks came out, and the minute Chris Jericho ended up back first onto them, and then got the dirty deeds onto them as well. Like, my mouth was just open in shock, like the whole gasp thing. It wasn't like a mark out moment or anything. It was a moment of like pure shock, like to see WWE pull something out of the bag like that, and to see Chris Jericho go through something like that, like become the human pincushion. And it's even worse because he doesn't have the clothing to hide it, and it's very reminiscent of when it happened to Randy Orton. You just see it straight in the skin. So, I mean, the rest of the weapons that were out there were a little bit strange. The Dean Ambrose nunchucks thing was quite innovative. Him hitting him with the kendo stick off the top of... with the elbow drop, from the top of the cage was pretty cool. It was just a spot fest sort of match, but very sloppy in between, and that match probably could have been cut. Next match is the submission match. This, to me, is the other tied worst match, only because of the ending. These two were having a decent fight again. The Natalya-Charlotte matches have slowly gone downhill since the first time they fought. I thought the one at Battleground was pretty bad, and this one was... the one at Payback, was pretty bad, and then this one was even worse. Worst off is to see Dana Brooke imitating Ric Flair. Like, what were they thinking? And the worst thing is I logged onto Twitter and I see a photo of Becky Lynch and Natalya standing side by side. Where was Becky Lynch in this match? Like, why didn't she come down and help? So apparently Charlotte not ready to stand on her own 2 feet on pay-per-view. Apparently on Raw she's cut the ties with Ric Flair, but we'll see how long that lasts. I don't see it lasting too long at all. Charlotte picked up the win, unfortunately, with the figure 8. She's going to break Nikki Bella's record because they can't be sure when Nikki Bella's going to be back. Either that or she'll hold the title to SummerSlam. I'm hoping for option B, personally. I want to see Sasha Banks do it. But, they've reportedly said Sasha Banks is injured. So, who knows what the story what that could be. And then the main event was just Payback version 2.0, just with, no countouts, pretty much. The same finish happened. The club came down, the Usos came down, they ended up scrapping. In a very similar sort of finish, AJ Styles went for the phenomenal forearm. Roman Reigns hit him with the spear. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that match was good. I'm slowly starting to get more impressed with Roman Reigns' work with AJ Styles. And that's about as far as I would go. And that's only because it's AJ Styles in there. AJ can just make Roman look good. But that's not the bit I want to talk about. And this isn't the bit I want to talk about either. Seth fucking Rollins is back. Comes out, pedigrees Roman. I'm a little bit gutted they didn't show Seth Rollins running down the ramp. I get that they wanted it to be a surprise, but you hear Michael Cole say, "Oh my god, it's Seth Rollins," before they even show Seth Rollins on the camera. That would have killed it a bit, but it didn't stop me from marking the fuck out over that moment. It was like watching WrestleMania all over again, watching Seth run down that ramp and cash in and become the world champion. It was that exact same moment again, watching Seth Rollins run down, pedigree Roman, and hold his title high. Just like I'm going to hold this title high. Matt, I'm sorry to kill your moment. This belt is what it's all about. 3 times. And this time, I'm not looking to become a transitional champion. I never do. Sometimes it happens. It happened the first time. Last time I held it till WrestleMania. This time, it's with me till the rest of the year. The KWP Championship. The KWP Universe right now is in the palm of my hands. This belt is what solidifies this channel. These 3 letters are what solidifies this channel. And this is the face that runs this place. This has been it from Wrestling Addict 100. You don't have to like it, but you better get used to it. See you later.